everyone, what's up? So this is the Cyclone COC Assassin updates, including like the low, mid, high budgets. There are a lot of changes actually. I wouldn't say a lot of changes, but the changes are actually quite significant for some of the COC variant builds. And because of time constraint, I'm not going to show any videos. I'm just going to quickly go through all of the changes that are required for the build to function well. There are some benefits of the build in Affliction, and there are some downsides of it also. But before I begin, right, I just want to quickly run through like the significant changes, alright, for Cyclone COC. So the one most important changes is actually the skill gems. Now the skill gems no longer have the alternate quality, right? And there's this new transfigured skill gems. And for Ice Nova, the very big change was the trigger on Frostbolt. Okay, now they have completely removed that. Okay, they have completely removed that, which also means, right, the amount of DPS that we can trigger, like the amount of times we can trigger Ice Nova, is way lesser than normal now, because you can only proc like you previously can proc like 2 Ice Nova on a Frostbolt, right? So now that they have removed this, we're actually dealing a lot more damage. But the upside is actually Ice Nova base damage and effectiveness damage have increased very significantly. So it's about, I would say, about 40% more. Okay, that's really a lot. That's really a lot. But the exact amount of DPS that actually, comes out from Frostbolt, like the Ice Nova triggering on Frostbolt, exactly how much is it? I have tested it before, but I still cannot give you an exact answer. Okay, there's really no exact definition on how much DPS is actually triggering on this Frostbolt, but I will say the DPS loss is actually made up from the base damage increment from Ice Nova itself, right? And yeah, helmet enchants are gone, which means 40% less Ice Nova damage and -1 to Ice Spear projectiles. That's huge. Okay, that is huge. But we'll see, because up till now the transfigured gems have not been fully released yet. Who knows? Maybe the transfigured gems for Ice Nova can be, we can proc 4 more Ice Novas on a Frostbolt, something like that. Or I'm definitely taking that for sure. And then Ice Spear maybe +2 projectiles or critical damage. I'm not sure. I think Ice Spear has been released, right? But I can't remember what's the effect. We'll have to see out. We have to see how the transfigured gem works, especially for Ice Nova, right? Okay, let's go on to the low budget POB. Alright, and so this is the low budget POB. I can tell you the skill tree, nothing has changed. Okay, it is still the same, exactly the same. It's a little bit of I wouldn't say a glass cannon. You still have your defenses, evasion, and lifesteal, but the life is not exactly sufficient, especially given the current meta now. You will still tend to die here and there if you're not killing and going fast enough. Alright, partly because we don't have spell suppression. Also, it is almost impossible to get spell suppression for COC. You have to give up a great amount of damage just to get suppression, and it's just not worth it. Okay, for the skills, we have changed. Okay, because we now can no longer proc Ice Nova on Frostbolt, I am just going to go ahead with Ice Spear, GMP, and Hypothermia as the secondary skill, right? So some of you might ask me, why Hypothermia? Like, question mark? Okay, you can go for any skills you want, but the reason I chose Hypothermia is because I just want to have the more chance of freezing. But yeah, honestly, you can do anything. Okay, you can go for Freezing Pulse, you can even go for Creeping Frost, whichever you like. Okay, just whichever you like, whatever you see fit. Honestly, it's not gonna be a huge amount of difference. Alright, and the rest is actually still the same. Yeah, it's pretty much the same. There is no changes. We are still going to use the Vortex debuff for the low budget because it's just too good. Okay, it's just too good to give up like Bone Chill and Elemental Weakness. We really need this significant amount of DPS increase. And yeah, honestly, that's about it. The rest is just the same, just holding 2 cosplay. The rest is just life, resistance. Your rings is just attributes, and there is really nothing much else you can put. Have more APS as much as you can, because we are dual welding cosplay. The ideal attack speed is actually 12.12. I think as long as you reach 12, that is the best, but it's really really hard to reach 12, so just get as much as you can. Alright, so yup, that's it for the low budget. Alright, next up is the mid budget. So the mid budget have quite a big change actually, because of my experience from the high budget variant. I realized that there are a lot of things that can be incorporated into the mid budget as well, and this is actually a great improvement for mid budget. Right, you can see this is actually the Ice Nova. Okay, this is the Ice Nova. We have like 6 million, but actually it's not exactly correct as well, because what happened is on the cosplay trigger now I am actually using Ice Spear. Yeah, we can no longer have Frostbolt, right? It's meaningless to actually use Frostbolt, so I figured that we need more single target DPS. So yeah, Ice Spear, definitely Ice Spear has the best single target DPS, especially for Ice Nova that has bad single target. You just need another skill that can kill off bosses fast, right? Ice Spear does the job. Right, so skill tree changes significant. Basically, what is important is I am no longer using Righteous Decree. Okay, and because of these 2 points of removal, I actually managed to add more auras. Okay, so the changes starts from level 68. I have done all accordingly already, all the way until level 95. Yeah, I even put it all the way until level 100 as well. If you see any issues, just let me know. So the reason why we don't need this anymore, and yes, the other changes is Mana Mastery. We no longer need the reservation. Some of you might be like, what? We don't need mana reservation? 106 mana is enough? Yes, it is enough. Okay, look at our mana cost. It's 0. Ice Nova now mana cost even at mid budget is 0. Cyclone is 1. It has to be 1 for sure. Okay, so the only difference is this. Okay, because it's Ice Spear. Ice Spear still costs mana, because just the base amount it's pretty expensive. So I don't really have a choice here. It's not something that I can control. All of the projectiles all in all still cost 29 mana. Okay. Unfortunately, and Frostbite still costs a hefty amount of 59 mana. But yeah, that's about it. What else do you want? CWDT is like 20. The rest is all very small amounts, and with the amount of regeneration per second, I'm pretty sure you can cast all of it. Okay, and the amount of leech. Even if you have no leech, you decided to do a no leech map mod, I'm very sure you still can survive and still go well with it. Right? And the significant change is basically because of this flask. I have tested this, and I have actually like bounced back to and fro between this flask here and there, and I've concluded that this flask just do wonders. Okay, the reason why you want to put on a diamond flask is because you want to maintain the upkeep, the critical strike chance upkeep of 100%. Okay, and with the prefix of gaining fast charges when you do a critical strike, you will have almost like full uptime on this flask. And of course, the 23% reduced mana cost of skills during effect is from Betrayal League, right? So this is something that you will need. The difference is I did not put a maximum, because probably at mid budget you would not want to keep spending currency to try until 25%, right? Because if it's under 25%, let me just show you. So Ice Spear. So Ice Spear is 29%, correct? If I were to change to this and save, the difference is not really a lot, right? So there really isn't much difference or changes. Just keep it at that. And this is the whole reason why we can remove this as well, and also add in reduced mana cost of skills, and this allow us to actually do no leech map mod. Okay, you heard me right, no leech map mod. That's a big difference. Why we can do no leash map mod? Because we don't really need mana. We can rely on our mana regen. We don't really need to leash ES, okay, because of Soul Thief. When you kill packs of monsters, right? Let's say it's like 15 to 20 packs of monsters. Just running through them, you're gonna heal like almost half of your energy shield already. Yeah, so it's really big. The only difference is when you're fighting boss, maybe the boss can be painful, but yeah, energy shield, you don't have to leech, right? You just need to stand maybe one corner if it's painful, and then just regen your energy shield and just go back hit it again. Simple. Okay, so auras have also changed for mid-budget build. We are no longer going to use the vortex. Instead, we're going to use mark on hit. I decided to just use this because it's going to scale with your high budget build in future. So let's just not make it complicated. All right, and because we are going to use mark on hit, and the other curse will be frostbite on your cosplay. We are available to open up like 2 more skill gem slot, and I'm pretty sure this is gonna be a huge quality of life. Like cast on death portal. Okay, I don't see this on a lot of builds, but I will say even though this build is not exactly tanky, but it is not very weak as well. There will be chances or instances where sometimes we are not careful with ailments, poison, bleed, explosion, or we get greedy and try to pick up stuff while a fireball that's exploding comes to our face and we didn't manage to like escape in time, we just die. Guys, this portal is God sent, like a gift, okay? So you will appreciate this a lot, trust me. Okay, items, I have already gone through whichever that I have gone through, right? The rest is pretty much the same. Okay, as for the trigger rate, right, what I want to tell you is you don't need to have exactly 7.57. Okay, 7.57 is the optimal trigger rate, but just think of this in mind. You are not going to trigger 7.5 times, right? It's literally impossible. Your Ice Nova is not going to trigger half times. There is no such thing, right? So in between 7 and 7.57, you are safe. Okay, you are safe. You're still going to trigger 7 times only, and then the cooldown is going to refresh, and you're just going to trigger another 7 times. So having 7 to 7.57 is okay. Alright, not really much of a difference, so don't bother about it too much. Okay, even though if you change the attack rate to maybe 7.1 something or 7.2 something, yes, the full DPS will drop here, but come on, guys, the reality is the DPS is still the same. Okay, I am very sure of that. Right, and if you really just want to play Ice Spear, I have the Ice Spear layout for you right here, and just remember to change the items because Ice Spear is going to use Dying Sun instead. Alright, so just do take note of that. Otherwise, follow me. Ice Nova is the way to go. Ice Nova is always fun. Alright, high budget. This is the Ice Nova variant. What has changed? I will guess pretty much the tattoos are gone, right? So previously we have a tattoo where we can take this Thief's Craft and it gives us +1 power charges. Now that's big because +1 power charges means we get increased critical strike chance, increased spell damage, increased critical strike multiplier, mana regeneration, so on and so forth, right? That's why the tattoo was so good, it is almost impossible to give up. I'm willing to sacrifice so many things to get a tattoo, but now that it is gone, we are back to the usual tree. Okay, the tree that is like pre-ancestor lake. Yeah, this is just how it is. There's really not much difference. Like I say, the only difference, right, is on the trigger. Now this is in a very gray area right now, because like I mentioned, there might be a transfigured gem for Ice Nova whereby you can trigger Ice Nova on your Frostbolt. Okay, this is the alternate quality of the transfigured gem for Ice Nova. There might be, okay, because they removed this skill, so probably they might add that. I do not know. Alright, so we'll have to see how it goes, but for now, let's just put Ice Spear first, right? Because it's really what the build is lacking, correct? single target damage. The rest is pretty much the same. The various skill tree you can just see for yourself. I have removed the Soul Drinker skill tree. Instead, I've just put in Forbidden Jewels because honestly, I do not know what kind of Forbidden Jewels you want to put. There are so many different combinations, okay? You can put Ambush and Assassinate. You can put Polymath. You can put Soul Drinker. What else is there? I don't know. I don't know. One step ahead. Yeah, you can put one step ahead. Or you can even put Bond Specialist. Your choice, alright? So depending on all of this ascendancy nodes that you put in for your Forbidden Jewels, you probably got to adjust your attack speed because some of them might increase attack speed like your Soul Drinker. Just adjust them accordingly. As long as you are in between 10 to 10.10, you are fine. Right? Yeah, and that's pretty much about it. Headhunter, Mage Blood, still the same. You need Awakened COC 6. Right, for the items, just change them accordingly. If you want a Headhunter, get a Headhunter. Replica Headhunter is good enough to farm the Scarab Delirious farming. Forbidden Jewels is just pretty much the same. You can adjust anything you want, and this is the high budget build, right? For the nodes, just take a look. Because of the changes to our 0 mana cost Ice Nova now, guys, we can do no leech and no regen mod. Really very nice and sweet right now. We don't have to bother about this kind of funny mods. This is a really huge improvement since last league. Okay, let's go on with the Ice Spear. Alright, next is the COC Ice Spear. So the big changes about this is the helmet enchant is gone, so now we have one less projectile, and of course with the transfigured Ice Spear, we really do not know what additional perks it can provide us. Okay, so no point thinking too much. This is the current list right now. There might be some changes along the way, but I have to tell you guys, okay, I am most likely not going to play Ice Spear, okay, because of the what happened last league, which I will talk about it later on. I probably will just play Ice Nova. Right, so if there are any significant changes to Ice Spear, then I will update it. But if it's a small amount of changes, guys, come on, I'm pretty sure you are good enough to change things yourself. Like if it's like a few APS missing, some nodes are not required anymore, like you don't need so much mana or whichever, by all means change it yourself. Alright, so this list, DPOB's skill trees are all updated. Yes, remove the tattoos, no more tattoos sadly. Same for the high budget Ice Nova. So right now, right, for Ice Spear we have about 5,000 ES. Okay, the Ice Nova is slightly more because of the crit strike chance. So Ice Spear requires more critical strike chance, I'm sorry, than Ice Nova. The reason is purely and really because of, I think, mainly Bottle Fate. Yeah, because Bottle Fate provides so much critical strike chance that you really do not need additional critical strike chance nodes, and that is why for the cluster jewel we are going to go back to one projectile cluster and also one of this critical cluster. Alright, and because of that, the Ice Nova does not take this, but the Ice Spear does require take this to reach 100% critical strike chance. Right, so this is the tree as usual. There's 101 as well, and of course your Forbidden Jewels is just there to help you fill in, mix and match whichever you want, like I mentioned previously. So I really do not know which Forbidden Jewel you are looking at, but just leaving it there for you open. You can fill it in yourself right here and see how it goes. Alright. Okay, however, this is something that I want to say. I don't think you should play Ice Spear without Nimis. Okay, this is really important right here. Like, Nimis Ring really makes a big difference when you're playing COC Ice Spear. Okay, so my suggestion is, if you want, get the Nimis Ring, prioritize it as soon as possible. What happened last week was when I updated the high budget COC Ice Spear, Jangron released a video on one of the builds that I think it was winter. Eye of Winter, something like that. It was Eye of Winter with Nimis. There's some interaction with it that gives it like shotgun 360 degrees or something like that. And it's like AoE plus shotgun. Who the heck wouldn't play that, right? So it became a sensational build, or a build that was influenced by him. And Nimis ring just shot up. The price just went ridiculously nuts. Like, it was 5 div or something like that, and I was sleeping at that time. When I woke up, I saw it was 40 divine, and I was like, what the heck just happened? And I have this friend that told me, hey, have you buy your Nimis ring? I was like, nope. Oh, I'm screwed. I am so screwed. And that's where I decided that nope, I'm gonna change back to Ice Nova because it's way too expensive. So heads up, be prepared if you want to play COC Ice Spear. Yes, you can play without a Nimis, but trust me, it will not perform as well as with a Nimis. Okay, be prepared to spend lots of amount because I don't think Nimis will go back to its low price again. Like, at the very most, it will be in the middle of previous of like maybe 30 to 40 div and 5 div, somewhere in the middle, so maybe 15 div. So your Ice Spear build is going to be quite expensive, more expensive compared to Ice Nova, right? So yeah, skills same, no changes. All right, for the Headhunter and Mage Blood, same, Awakens COC 6, and you need the elevated boots. Okay, sorry, let me change back this. And over here it's just the same thing over again. Okay, the items are very much similar. You just need to adjust your attack speed. Like I say, you don't need to have 10.10 to optimize your damage output, okay? Because you're not going to trigger 10.1 times. It is impossible. It's literally not possible. You can't trigger 0.1 Ice Spear, right? Even though it's like shooting 10 Ice Spear, it doesn't mean you're going to shoot 1 Ice Spear only. No, it doesn't work that way, right? So having between 10 to 10.10 is good, but do not exceed it, because for some reason if you exceed 10.10, the system kind of like calculates you have exceeded the threshold, and you the cooldown threshold is not met, and somehow you will only trigger 9 instead of 10, right? Because the skill has not refreshed, the skill has not cooldown, so it cannot project out its maximum amount of times. That's why only 10 to 10.10. Alright, anything in between is fine. Anything before, after that, no, definitely not. Just bear in mind. And yeah, the DPS drop is quite significant, I would say. Unfortunately, we used to have like what, 50 to 60 million. Now it has dropped. Then again, I do not know what kind of transfigured gem Ice Spear is going to give us, so who knows, it might be something crazy and we will shoot that up. So yeah, that's just literally about it. Okay, just take note about Nimis price. If you are prepared to go full crazy and have lots of currencies, then by all means, I will say COC Ice Spear with the Nimis is still pretty fun. Okay, it's still very fun. Right, yep, no videos for this build guide updates. I really do not have time. I will be off from tomorrow onwards all the way until league start. I barely have time to even test or play anything because I will not be around. I will be away out of my country. So yeah, that's about it. I will guess I will just see you guys on stream day, league start. Right, that will be the only day I'll stream.